Welcome to the Chain Out Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Daryl.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Chain Out Podcast, Season 3, Episode 143 with your favorite co-hosts, Jeremy and Daryl. Daryl, my friend, you are holding down the fort in, we love our initials, in the COPS, the Chain Out Podcast studio. Do you think that one will catch on? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Doing well.
Good.
I think you're a guy who likes your space. So every once in a while, is it kind of nice to stretch out over there?
It's nice. Yeah, I get the full podcast studio. You can't see it, but I am wearing pants. Honestly,
Phew.
You're not in the studio, so you don't need to know that.
Yeah,
but you're not
in. You didn't paint a picture for the next hour or so in my mind.
There you go. You're not in the studio. Where are you? Where are you joining us from?
Well, I'm back in the United States of America. When I'm down here, I kind of feel like I got to talk like this and say, "How y'all doing tonight?" Because I'm in the Tennessee and Mississippi area.
I'm not too familiar. Like, I know that is a Southern accent. Is that how they speak in Memphis, Tennessee?
Yeah, there's a bit of it. There's a lot of y'all. So we say "a" in Canada. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there an English thing that people say a lot? It's not cheerio. I know it's not that, but
do you want some tea? No, I don't know. No, is there a thing? I mean, it's regional. So something that somebody might say in the South, they won't necessarily say in the North. So
okay, and that's probably like, I guess, North America's in the South. They say y'all. Everybody's y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Yeah.
I got called a sweetie today too.
Do you find, like, when I first came to Canada, I had to adjust to saying sidewalk instead of pavement, and different words like that. Is y'all finding its way into your vocabulary? Are you finding it slipping in every now and again?
Yeah, when I come back for a short period of time, it is, but it's not quite as bad as my mom, who went to. There you go. That's a Canadianism, is mom, because down here it'd be mom. It'd be my mom.
Right.
But anyway, when my mom had gone down to or gone over to Ireland, she went on a 10-day bus tour, and she came back and couldn't get rid of an Irish accent for about 30 days. I'm like, how is that even a thing?
Waking up in the morning, top of the morning to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very stereotypical.
So how are we looking on tonight? How's the chat looking?
Yeah, Sonia's in the chat. She's always in the chat. She says that maybe English people say mate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do they say mate?
I say mate all the time. I have a good mate. You're my mate. All right, mate? Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe mate is the word.
Is it reserved just for your English friends, or would you call a Canadian a mate?
No, I would call anybody a mate who is a mate.
All right.
If you're not a mate, we have other words for you.
Yeah, ones that we wouldn't be saying on the podcast.
Exactly. Well, yeah, chat is all getting interactive, and we like an interactive chat, Jeremy, because tonight's episode is one that we've been wanting to do for a while, actually. Mm-hmm. Normally, we go through our top of show, we proceed to our guest interview, we wrap it up, we finish with the drap. Tonight, though, you get a double dose of Jeremy and me, because we're going to be giving you a taste of what we normally go through on Around the Basket, which is the one that follows our Chain Out episode. We get to talk about things that we don't normally talk about on the Chain Out podcast, things that are reserved for our Patreon only. How are you feeling about that?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think it's going to give a chance to maybe get into a couple things that we just never get to talk about, and you and I love to talk. So I'm excited to see how that looks.
And I think this all kind of stemmed from two things. One, from Tim being on the podcast and going off on one. But also, the main reason that prompted it was we had a comment on one of our YouTube videos from Cygnus2112, who heard us talking about it and was like, what is this Around the Basket and where can I watch it? As much as we say, head over to Patreon and sign up for a link, sign up for any level, including free, and you get the free link. This is what Around the Basket is. Me and you talk. We get the chat more involved. Chat can throw in their questions. We interact with the chat a lot more.
Yeah. We definitely
Maybe.
do. And it's if people aren't going to go to the Patreon, we'll bring a Patreon to them. I think our
There you
Patreon
go.
members are pretty cool peeps, and they be fine for us to share a little bit of that behind the scenes that they get to have every single week.
So we have chain links. Are we
Hmm.
calling them chain links or we cogs? I wanted cogs, but I think did we settle on chain links?
Felt like it was chain links by the time the dust settled.
Is there a Patreon? You called them ATB peeps. Is there a name for people that are just our hardcore ATB listeners or watchers?
Oh, I didn't even want to go there because I had a few ideas, but maybe we
Okay,
save that for the Patreon.
there you go. Fair enough.
Well, one of the reasons that we're able to do podcasts like we do tonight this year is because of PDGA Canada. We're really happy to have them involved with the Chain Out podcast this year. And we always encourage you, if you don't have your PDGA membership, make sure to sign up, because if you play a tournament or do any event in Canada, all of the money that is paid on a Canadian event goes back to Canada. And that's how you get the courses that you play. So even if you are not playing tournaments, the funds will still help in one way or another.
Absolutely. Okay, let's do our tournament review. We always like to start with that. Last weekend, there were 17 events in Canada, including 2 B tiers and 8 C tiers. We had events in British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Quebec, Ontario, PEI, and Newfoundland. That's right, Sonia. Pay those bills. Saskatchewan had held their provincials this past weekend. There was an NADGT event, a Disc Golf Newfoundland Tour event, a USDGC doubles qualifier, another Circuit de Quebec tournament, a juniors tournament, a Parker's Play fundraiser, a No Need for Speed 5x5, and a unique Banana Frolf event.
Whoa, dude, that was a mouthful. There was a lot there. It seems like there's always 17 events lately. That's the
Right.
magic number to be held in Canada over kind of a weekend.
Hmm.
But you mentioned a lot of cool things. But tell me the last one? What did you say the unique one was?
Yeah, I said Banana Frolf. Have you not heard about that?
No, I've
No?
I've not heard of Banana Frolf.
Okay,
It's
well,
not even like Seinfeld there when it was Summer of George. I don't think he was playing Banana Frolf.
allow me to enlighten you, Jeremy. This is something that our friends in Newfoundland put together, including tournament director and friend of the show, Edgar Hartling. Inspired by the Banana Baseball League, Jomez Pro, and Bedanza, it was a baseball disc golf doubles event. Okay? That's
Okay.
that's the outline. Here's a quick breakdown.
Baseball, disc golf. All right, go for it.
Baseball doubles, disc golf. So it's a dubs event, 2 innings, which means you get 2 turns at bat. Everyone else goes in the outfield, they go on defense. A batter hits a ball off a tee-ball, what do you call them? A
Home
tee-ball.
plate? Oh,
Oh,
T-ball.
a tee-ball
Post.
stand. Post, yeah. He hits the ball. He throws a disc towards first base to try and get it into the basket, which is sitting on first base.
Mm-hmm.
The batter / runner continues to each base after making a successful putt at the previous base. Once the batter or runner commits to throwing to the next base, they must complete that base. They can't double back.
Okay.
A home run is made if the batter gets all the way around back to home plate. They get a point for each base made, 1 for a single, 3 for a double, 6 for a triple, and 10 points for a homer.
Wow.
Most points after 2 at-bats wins. The rules of play are discussed prior to the game starting. Everyone knows what's going on. Players are required to bring 2 putters and a glove.
So
Seems
this
pretty
just
straightforward.
sounds like chaos to me, is what it sounds like. It sounds like there's bats, there's T-ball posts, there's baskets, discs, baseballs. Like, is there? And there's bananas somehow in this too.
Banana Frolf. Yeah, not only they had bananas and peanuts for players packs, first place prizes were banana candies, croissant lamps, and a repurposed trophy from Value Village. So does this sound, I mean, you're looking at me with a confused look on your face. Does this look a little bit confusing?
Yes.
Okay.
It looks confusing.
Well, just for you, Jeremy, we have a video. And this might explain it a little bit. I'll try and give you a bit of an overview of what's happening while you're watching the video, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so you got your baskets lined out on the diamond on the bases. There you go. He's running to the bat. All right, that was just catching the end of a run there. So here we go. Batter off the tee, hits the ball, picks up a disc, tries to make the putt at first base. Meanwhile, people throw a disc to first base. First baseman has to stand at the disc and get it in the basket before the batter gets it in the basket. Sounds very straightforward.
It does.
Oh, he missed the putt.
Oh, so that would mean he's out.
Okay,
right?
here we go again.
There?
Hit the ball off the tee. Make the putt. First baseman runs to where the disc lands, and he has to make the putt before the runner made the putt. So he's safe on first.
Oh, that is awesome.
There you go. Oh, well, where are we going here, Jeremy? Let me come back here. So, did that make? Oh my goodness. There you go. Now we're on script. Did that make sense? Now seeing it makes it.
Yeah, it made it make a little bit more sense, and it definitely sounded like, you know what, it would have been chaos, and I think it would have been a fun way to try something that was disc golf adjacent, and you know, especially if you were like, I don't know if I really want to play a tournament or something, this would be a great way to throw some discs and have some fun. Almost like you remember when we heard about the double disc court and some of those other options and guts and stuff. This one looks like one that's probably pure joy.
I imagine it's one of those events that after you play it for 20 minutes, you've got it and you know what's happening. It seems like chaos, but when you're in the middle of it and you know what's happening, it's probably it makes a lot more sense. You kind of got a sneak peek of it, but I just want to show you. Look at that for a Banana Froth Champions Trophy.
And there's the bananas they're giving away too.
The bananas, and you've even got Brian perched atop of the trophy. Here you go.
Awesome. So yeah, that's seems cool. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really was. That was actually the Friday night opener to the Disc Golf Newfoundland Tour event that took place the rest of the whole weekend. A 2-day, 3-round C-tier that had 50 players come out and challenge at McNiven Park. We've spoken about that place before. 12 different divisions were represented at the event. Some pros were there, age protected, 7 juniors, 7 women. On the MPO side, Willem Peters and David Jeniaks went head-to-head all weekend long. Willem had the lead by 1 stroke after round 1. Then David tied it up after round 2. But in the end, Willem came out victorious with a -11 overall, beating David out by 1 stroke.
All right. There you go.
Edgar said that he really wanted to see this event grow. They had a small fly mart there. They had a barbecue set up, a bunch of unique discs to test and throw as well in between rounds. They also had a mini players party as well, and an indoor golf facility. They brought a tech disc out that could be used on those simulators.
Cool.
It really felt like this was a really big event for the community and one way to make it grow.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. You know, and they're doing a lot of great things there. A funny thing, I did see Edgar send a last-minute note and said, I had to make sure the scores were posted for you guys so you didn't give me a hard time about drinking at McNiven's pub the whole event.
There was no McNiven's pub in the recap, I don't think, but I'm sure it was involved somewhere.
It must have been. Well, also you saying that they had 7 juniors and 7 women out. That's pretty fantastic for like a 50 event tournament in Newfoundland where it's still a growing sport. That's a good contingent. I know the team out there has put on at least 1 women's event so far this year, and that had helped spark some interest in the sport. Edgar also said what they're going to be doing is they're going to do a free mixed doubles event here in September, and they want to encourage more players to come out and play, get some more women out there, get everyone coming out. And one of their board members is actually a chef, and for that mixed doubles event, he's going to put up some free dinners as prizes to sweeten the pot.
Nice. And remember, if you want to get I thought you were going to carry on. If you want your event mentioned on the Chain Out podcast or reviewed, send us an email to chainoutpodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us on our socials.
Yeah, well, I think I was all excited because I don't normally see the chat so well when we're back at the podcast studio, but today it's like right in front of me when I'm away. So I
Right.
saw Dylan jumped in and just welcome to the podcast, Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if we flip over to Pro News, the Disc Golf Pro Tour Doubles Championship at the Preserve, presented by Simon Line, took place last weekend in Clearwater, Minnesota. So Adam Hammes and Ricky Wysocki, they made a run from the third card on the final day, shooting a -10, which was not only the hot round of the day, but good enough to secure them the win.
That's it.
And then over on the FPO side, Katrina Allen and Silva Saarinen went to a playoff with Owen
Yeah.
Scoggins and Taylor Chosick. And then Kat and Silva, they took the win after a one-hole playoff, which helped Silva maintain her record of being undefeated at the Preserve. And I know, Daryl, you watch a heck of a lot more Pro Tour disc golf than I do. Did you see either of these finishes at all?
I watched the finish on Jomez, but somebody who we both know, Kristen Swirls, mentioned to me, she said, "Did you watch the finish?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." I guess she was watching it live because Des Redding had something to say. There may be a little bit of controversy at the end.
Oh, do
we
you
can
want to
say-
share?
You want to share it now or you want to save it later? I can share it now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's bring it later if you want.
All
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
Canadian.
Katrina and Silva
Yeah.
had the lead. Owen missed her putt to tie it up. Paige and Missy were out. It seemed like they were out. You couldn't quite tell where their discs are. But Katrina is lining up to take the putt to seal the win. Paige runs up to her and says, "Oh, do you want me to go?" Or, because obviously, we've seen it so many times before when a pro is going to win. If they've got the lead by 5 shots, they're out. Somebody else is closer. What do? They don't finish and they don't putt out. They lay it up under the basket so that everybody else can finish so that they have the last putt. So
Right.
Paige ran up to Katrina to say, "Oh, do you want us to go because you want to have the last putt?" So then Katrina said, "Oh, no, it's okay." Carried on, and then she missed her putt. So then because she missed it, that ended up tying. They went to the playoffs. So the controversy is, what are your feelings? Because you see all the time pros that lay up, and that counts as a missed putt inside circle 1,
Right.
just because they want to be the last person to put the disc in the basket. Are you okay with going out of order in that situation? If you might be further out, but somebody's closer, but they are not going to win, is it okay for them to tap out first so that you have your putt? But in this instance, Katrina, whether she felt rushed, whether she didn't feel rushed and she just genuinely missed the putt, but whatever it was, with Paige running in and talking to her, she ended up missing the putt, and that's why it went to a playoff. What are your feelings on that?
Yeah, my feelings are it's up to the rules of the game in a PDGA tournament go by the PDGA rules, and the person who is out goes next. Whoever's the
Right.
furthest away. Doesn't matter what your position is on that last one. If you would prefer to lay it up because you have that luxury to do it, go ahead and do that. But otherwise, you putt, and then the other players have to putt out and just delay the win by 2 putts. So I think it has to go that way. The only thing I would tell you is if it was so close to call, I don't think you should be measuring. You just pick somebody. But if it is very obvious who's out, that's the next person up.
So Dylan in the chat says Paige was definitely out. She says, "Go ahead, you got it." Paige should have putted. Not sure what went through that thought. So my take on this is kind of the same as yours to a certain degree. I think if Paige was out, Katrina should have said, "Paige, you're out. You go."
Mm-hmm.
If Paige wasn't out, Katrina should have took a step back and then reset after Paige coming up and saying, then that would have been Paige's fault for trying to interrupt, being like, "Oh, because you're going to win, do you want me to putt out first?" Or, any of that sort of situation. If you're out, regardless of whether you're going to go for the win, you lay it up. But she couldn't lay it up because it was for the win. She had to make that putt.
Right.
But it seemed like that threw Katrina off. But luckily, they ended up taking down the win anyway in the playoff hole. But, yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know.
it's always good to have a little bit of excitement and controversy there, and I don't think that's too crazy, but I'm glad that it did work out for them, and there isn't that little
Hmm.
asterisk hanging over it.
We had something similar, but we disagreed on. It was last year's Pro Tour when um, one of the Mandahanus and Owen Scoggins were on a hole, and somebody picked up a disc when they shouldn't have done, I think, or they
Hmm.
putted from the wrong disc, and there was that whole. Well, it didn't matter because they went through. It was in the playoffs. Do you remember that?
Right? Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know we kind of disagreed on because I think Nate Heinhold was the course official at that point, and he came over and made a ruling. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I can't, now I brought it up, but I can't exactly remember the scenario, so ignore that. But it was
Sounds good.
some other
Yeah,
controversy.
it was a similar time when it comes in. I think most of the times you got to let the PDGA rules go on it, and I think we've argued about PDGA rules sometimes. So
Yeah,
sometimes we'll disagree that the rules are in place may not be written the best or the best ones to follow, but if they're the rules, they're the rules at that time.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we did have Canadians at the doubles tournament as well, and one of them was Canadian MPO Thomas Gilbert, and he was with his doubles partner Chris Clemens. They finished tied for 25th, and they missed cash by one spot, one position.
Oh,
And it did look like the pins must have been a little bit harder on that third day, and they went for broke. And it appeared that it didn't really help them. It wreaked a bit of havoc on their game because the score suffered as a result. And then over on the FPO side, Rebecca Dawn and her doubles partner, Trinity Bryant, they finished tied for 13th and also missed the cash. But they did have a really good first round and then second round, and then of course those B position pins on the third round beat them up as well. But it was good to see them there. The pros get a go ahead.
I just wanted to throw this out to the chat because obviously you didn't watch any of the coverage.
No, I did not.
So the way that it was best shot Friday, best shot. So best shot doubles Friday, best shot doubles
Mhm.
Saturday, alternate shot Sunday.
Oh.
So there was talk on the Jomez coverage. Nate had mentioned he's like, there's so much pressure on alt shot that if you make a bad shot, then you're letting your partner down, right? With best shot,
Mhm.
if you make a bad shot, you've got your partner to kind of back you up or bail you out. So they were thinking have best shot Friday, alt shot Saturday, and then leave best shot for the Sunday, take the pressure off a little bit, have a bit more fun, which is kind of what the whole feeling of the event was for. I mean, I know there were still points on the line and money and things like that, but a whole doubles event, picking your partner, picking your team names. Dylan said that he watched it live, and you could hear the banter and the teamwork between the duos that didn't quite
Mhm.
make it to the Jomez coverage. But for a fun event like that, for it to come down to that much pressure on the final day, there may be a thing there to talk about and maybe rework that format a little bit.
Yeah. That would be cool. And you know what else would be cool? If you're going to go all about it and it is about fun and you're going to change up the formats,
Hmm.
maybe you start out with a worst shot doubles and then an alt shot doubles, and then you're like just rip the course apart with a best shot doubles. So
That
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 might
what
make it.
that was suggested, and it was shot down very quickly. Yuli did not like it. I don't think Nate liked it really, and I don't think Jerem liked it either. Not to
No.
say that it's wrong. It might work, but it was not
Hey, but if Big Sexy Barry doesn't like it, then that's three
exactly.
different powerful voices disagreeing.
Yeah.
Well, the pros do get a week off before playing what some people will call the biggest tournament of the year, the 2026 PDGA Pro World Championships. And it is close to Canada. It's down in, I think it's Milford, Michigan. And at the
Okay.
moment, we have 6 Canadians registered, Daryl,
I
which,
think that's
yeah.
probably the biggest field of the year so far.
Yeah, I would say at a DGPT event or pro
Yeah.
event, definitely. So we got Thomas Gilbert there, no surprise. Marty Hendel's heading down.
Oh,
Kat Johnson is going to be there.
all right.
Rebecca Dawn, that's almost a given, right?
Yeah.
Karen Martel is heading down as well, and then Chantel Badinsky will be at it again.
Awesome. Sounds like we got a
Hmm.
good contingency down there.
That's right. So as we always say, it's still a couple weeks till there, but get over onto PDGA Live, start favoriting those players so that they'll be right at the top of your feed all weekend.
Absolutely. Okay. You know, we are the disc golf giveaway podcast. You know that, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, rumor has it.
Rumor has it. We are still in the process of giving away the Smith Lake Farm disc. Next up
Mhm.
is this disc kindly donated by Mr. Mike Biette, who is a follower of the Chain Out podcast, follower of Around the Basket as well. So we have that
Yeah,
one
great
to give
Patreon
away
support.
next. Absolutely. Now, there's been talk that we don't need to wait to give away the Smith Lake Farms disc before we can start working on this one. What do you think?
Judging by some of the things I know that maybe other people don't know, I think it might be a good idea to give it away sooner than later.
Shh. And then after, well, once we do give this one, once we finally get that Smith Lake Farm disc given away, I think we went to Smith Lake Farm like 10 months ago. It seems like we still got this disc. We're gonna get rid of it. We're gonna get rid of this tax team Mike Biette donated disc. After that, oh, that one is a Wraith, by the way. We a couple of weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, we were given, or said that Wally O'Valley was going to donate a disc for us from Team Elevation, his own custom stamped disc. I wouldn't say custom stamped. It has his name on it as well as a lot of the other players on the Elevation team. It has Wally's name on it. He's kindly donated it to us. We're going to see him this weekend at the Alberta Hospital fundraiser.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll get a chance to get that disc, and then we'll be showing it on the podcast next week for sure. And it is amazing. We appreciate all of our guests and everyone who helps us with these giveaways, because we're all about building the community as best we can in Canada and connecting everyone in disc golf. And if we can give you away some discs in the process, it makes us smile. So hopefully it makes you smile. And, I'm loving the chat. So Mew Mew, baby, Mew Mew.
If you're Mew here.
Also, that's right. And we do have two amazing sponsors of the Chain Out podcast that help us out. They're both Canadian disc golf stores. We have BR Disc Golf, and over there, Brendan has let us know that he has new MVP up on the website. And I checked it out. He's got the 2026 OTB Open Proton reactors. And I just showed you the one I've got, Daryl, the Particle Glow Proton Soft Hexes. That's that dark blue one I was showing you the other day.
Sure.
That soft hex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool because I've had so many hexes. You get them from tournaments and everything else, but that is the first time I've had one that soft, that flexible, and it definitely does have a different flight than some of my other hexes. So
How does it fly? Is it more stable, more unstable?
felt like it was a little bit more stable, but the thing is, it's now we're talking about little degrees of stability,
Right.
but it's still, if you love the hex and you want to be down to one disc and just have different molds, this is another option for you. So
When you
And it's
throw it
got a-
on a 45-degree hyzer like you do, it's going to be more stable.
it stays on. It looks like you want to throw up a comment
Yeah.
there before I go to our other sponsor.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing. Mr. TD Edgar Hartling himself. Hey, just dropped in a bit late and saw the chaos video of the banana froth. It was confusing start like most board games, but you figure it out pretty quickly. He said it was so much fun.
Edgar is right after my own heart because I am a board game guy myself, and there's been so many times I've taught people board games and I've said, okay, it's going to seem really confusing at first, but here, just play a couple rounds, and by the time we get around the second time, you're going to know what it is. And if you want to restart, we'll restart. But
Yeah.
it sounds very similar. Awesome. Thanks for dropping in, Edgar, and thanks for all you're doing out there in Newfoundland. We were talking about it with the juniors that you're bringing into the sport, the women that you're bringing in. It's just fantastic to see how much it's growing out there on the rock.
That whole Newfoundland tour.
Yeah, for sure. And our other sponsor is Disc Republic, and Jason gave us a bit of news that you can only find, Daryl, here on the podcast, as it hasn't even reached their website yet.
Ooh.
So if you're looking to pre-order the Innova Discraft Worlds packs, you can message Disc Republic and they'll get you on the list. So you can get yourself on there for the pre-orders. And I don't know, have you seen the combos that they've set up, Daryl? This whole Innova Discraft setup? Yeah.
I have seen them.
Yeah, so you've got the Buzz and the Rock. They've done a whole bunch of different cool combinations, different types of plastics and everything else. And then even when you get some of these ones, you might get an opportunity to win exotic wood carved versions of both discs. So I think you
Yeah.
can trade your pack in, or you can trade a coupon in, or something like that.
There's a ticket or a special thing inside, like a golden ticket from Willy Wonka.
Nice.
Yeah.
Willy Wonka. Is
Willy
that the English
Wonka.
version?
Yeah, no, that's my slang.
Well, we should talk about that because I think the wood discs are cool, but yeah, let's talk about that a bit.
Okay.
Or do you want to go?
No, we could talk about it. Like I have, so there's been a lot of feedback online about these worlds packs.
Mm-hmm.
People that I guess maybe don't know are criticizing a lot of the pros, and a lot of people that have been around for a while are saying that they're a good thing and praising it. Maybe people that don't know the history. I'm kind of on the fence. So, obviously it's Discraft and Innova. Two of
Yes.
probably arguably two of one of the top two disc golf manufacturers of discs.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's so good to have two manufacturers come together to be like, it's not all just about us and them. Like, we can work together. It's not like if you combine the two, Innova sales are not going to suddenly drop, right?
Right.
If working together, your sales are going to be fine. I feel like they just missed out. They just missed the mark. They were aiming for the bullseye. They got to 25. And I think a lot of people would share this, is that if they were going to come together like this and do a collaboration, it would have been so good if you had a Star Buzz or a Halo Star Buzz or a confetti rock. Like if you had mixed plastics, if you had
Yes.
if it was a bit more of a cross contamination collaboration, that would have been like the ultimate. Oh my goodness, you'll never ever get a confetti rock again or a star,
Right.
Halo Star rock Buzz. As it is, like you said, there are some rare ones in there. You can get the limited. I think there's some packs that have like the original design stamp for the rock and the Buzz and things like that from way back in the day. So those are kind of cool to get the original stamps. But I just feel like, it would have been just so much better. I mean, that's not to say that they can't do that in the future. This is obviously step one of a big, long journey, hopefully, of other manufacturers combining and working things out and doing collaborations like this. And a lot of the pros that, have been around for a while, or people in disc golf that know the history between, disc golf manufacturers and things like that. This is a huge step to get two disc golf manufacturers to collaborate on something together. So it's definitely a step in the right direction from a fan's point of view. My just little hot take is that it could have just been a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely got some great points there. And I think, too, is one of the things this year or just over the past year that Innova has done is they've done those duo discs where they look like they're half one color, half another color.
Right.
What if they had done that with the plastic? That would be a once in a lifetime thing where you
Right.
had half confetti and half star or something like that.
Yeah.
You'd
Who
never
knows how
get
they
it
would
like
fly,
that.
but yeah, no, exactly. Something like that. Just some sort of collaboration between the plastics. And maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some proprietary plastic blend that they didn't want to leak out or whatever, but I just feel like something they
They're
could have
working
done.
together, but not that close together.
Yeah.
Well, and we want to make sure that too, is that if you do head over to BR or to Disc Republic, make sure to use the code CHAINOUT when you're checking out. It's a promo code that will help and support us, and we'd really appreciate it. Keeps us keeping the lights on and paying the bills, as they say.
I just brought his comment up on screen, but for people listening, Edgar Hartling is still in the chat, and he agrees with me, Jeremy.
Whoa,
See?
nice.
I got the big guns behind me. He says, I love my rock and buzzes, but what's the difference from this pack than just buying two discs from Disc Republic? They come in the same box. You're just getting a standard buzz and a standard rock. You're just getting them in the world's pack. There's a chance that you might get, the exclusive ones, but for the most part, you're just buying a buzz and a rock.
Oh, so they're just so people are probably saying they're just getting rid of a bunch of old stock.
There
And
is
try to
that,
repackage it.
exactly. That's and like I say, that's the negative side of it. That's what people are saying. They're just standard discs. Why would we do this? You're putting a premium on it. You're just getting rid of this. You're just making us pay more money for standard discs. There's all that talk. but there is the flip side where you could get a great disc, and it's the first step in. Don't what do they say? Don't knock it till you try it. What is it like? Don't quit something before you start. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a saying there somewhere.
And if one day you'll get to it.
Yeah, it's like play for par, end up in the bar. I don't know.
Exactly. But really overall with all of that is, I think to me is, I like a little bit of a gamble and a little bit of a chance to win something exclusive, and so I'd take the chance. And at least with the discs that they were supplying, is throwing a rock, throwing a buzz, you can use, or sorry, you can use those discs. They're ones that are pretty good. So you could say, I'm going to take my chance to win the special ones, maybe even the wooden ones, and if not, maybe I got a couple 2 discs to introduce new players with. So I think it's worth a shot to me. But
there's that sitting on the fence mentality, Jeremy. You don't take a side. You just make sure everybody's happy.
Yeah. Well, I want to make sure we sell some more discs here. So
there you go. Okay.
Well, Daryl,
yeah.
I figure one of the things, and we've kind of given people a feel for it already as we get through the top of show, is to get a feel of what Around the Basket can be like. And one of the things we've done is we've really tried to bring the chat in at this point. So what we would ask you to do is throw more comments in there. Take this opportunity too, if you're a longtime listener, first time caller type thing, ask us anything. Throw some questions in the comments. We'll bring them up as we're going through. We're going to talk about some things, chat about it, and at the same time we'll dip into the comments and see what's there as well. And I don't know if we're going to do it tonight, Daryl. We talked about it. Is if somebody really wanted to make their Chain Out podcast debut, do you think we could pull it off if they wanted to come on?
If they want to come on, if somebody has a burn, okay. So you say get your comments and questions in the chat. I say come at us with your hot takes. We will discuss your hot takes. We might not have a hot take on it. We might agree with you one way or the other. If you have a hot take, if you have a question, anything you want, this is what Around the Basket is. Put it in the comments. We'll bring it up on the screen. We'll talk to you about it. But if it's something good and you want to join, just use, I don't know, I'm going to sound like I'm young now, Jeremy. Use hashtag join so I can find it in the chat. If you use hashtag join and then your question, I will send you the link. I'll put the link in the chat and you can click on it and you can come on to the Chain Out podcast and you can discuss your hot take with us. How's that sound?
Yeah. Oh, it sounds great. I think if I remember right, isn't it like
www.hashtagjoin.com.org.net? Something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we covered the Rock, the event that Edgar had put on, and the Banana Frolf. But then some of the other events that we talked about over in the tournament review that I kind of wanted to spend some time on was that series that they put on there where there was the 3x3.
Can I just interrupt you for 1 second?
Sure.
I would just like to let everybody know that this is what happens on the Around the Basket. But tonight, there will be no Around the Basket because we will be doing our Chain Out Fantasy League. So you can still head over to Patreon, he says as he pushes the button. Hopefully the thing comes up on the screen. Head over to Patreon, sign up for any level, including free. Get the link, and you can join us for our Chain Out Fantasy League episode. Tonight, we will be joined by Mr. Clive Lovett, another Englishman. He's a co-host of the Flight Path podcast with Carrie Neal, and we will be making our ECAN picks, our Eastern Canadian Amateur Nationals picks. Now you may go ahead.
Well, just after you drop that bomb on me, you think this is exciting? We're going to have 2 Englishmen on the podcast at the same time. Or am I going to even be able to understand what you're talking about?
I was just going to say, do you want me to put a translation up on, put subtitles up for you?
Yeah. When you put 2 Englishmen together like we will tonight, does it go straight to Cockney slang, or is there...
I'm probably the furthest away from Cockney that you can get. I'm not exactly. I was trying to think of this the other day. Where I'm trying to listen to Clive's accent. I keep repeating it in my head, and I'm like, where is he from? And I cannot narrow it down. But once he starts talking tonight, I don't want him to tell us right away. I want to see if I can figure out exactly where he's from. But he's definitely not a Cockney.
You're usually pretty good at that, hey, is identifying where in England someone is originally from.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, we'll give it a try. But yeah, so what we were talking about was there was a couple of other events that happened last weekend, and the one that's been happening over the last few weeks or the last month is there was the 3 series event, and it was a 3x3, so 3 discs, 3 speed or lower for a tournament, then 4 discs, 4 speed or lower for a tournament, and then they finish it off with 5 discs, 5 speed or lower. That was the series. I'm glad they didn't continue on. They do 12x12. We'd probably just end up with you're throwing your bag at that point. But what do you think about that? And I'm wondering, I didn't go through all the details if they were playing the same course each time, but do you think, based on some of the experience we've done with single disc rounds in that, which round do you think people did the best at? Do you think it was with 5 discs, with 3 discs? Was it with the 5 speeds they needed them?
So it's 5 discs, 5 speed and lower, or just 5 speed, five speed discs?
Five discs, 5 speed or lower, anything you wanted.
I mean, I'm assuming they would do the best with their 5 discs, because you got it. 5 discs is better than 3.
Yeah, and that's where
And a 5 speed is better than a 3 speed.
I'm interested in that, because I know we've gone out and we did the Berg event where we threw a Berg. That's right, a Berg. On a course we would normally throw our whole bag, and if I remember right, our scores were within a stroke or were a stroke better or something like that.
Very close.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if you kept yourself down to putters, you kept yourself to 3 speed or lower, you only had 3 discs, not too many decisions to make, maybe you could take it down. I'm thinking more than if you started to mix that bag up and put 5 in there. But then you ask yourself, you're like, what are we doing here? Why do I have a shelf of 200 discs in my room if I could play better with three speeds or lower?
Yeah. I think if it's 5 speeds and lower, I think that starts to become that you've got not too many options, but I think you have a lot of options to be able to still play your game. You can have a 5, a 4, you have an understable, overstable, like you've got a bit more of a range there. What I would like to see, and maybe this is something that you could do, is still have it a 5x5, but have 5 discs that are only 5 speed.
Oh, okay.
So you take away the putters, the 2 and the 3. So then you have to do your approaches and your putters with 5 speeds.
Yeah, that would be a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would definitely be a good way to check it out.
Thanks for stopping by, Edgar. We really appreciate it. Thanks for your comment. We will get to your comment. He asked us about our jerseys. We'll get that in a second. So if you don't stick around for your question, be sure to watch it back on YouTube.
Definitely.
What do you think about that? 5 discs, 5 speed, 4 discs, 4 speed only.
I think you'd still end up doing better with the 3 discs. If you did it that way specifically, I think the 3 discs, 3 speed or lower, or 3 discs, 3 speed.
Yeah.
Well, those are putters, and I think you could probably get some nice hang time ones and an understable one. Maybe I think you would do best with that. That's my guess. Maybe we'll do that one time. Maybe I'll do the 3 3s, you do the 5 5s.
Oh, I got
to see how it goes.
I mean, I don't think this would work. Somehow, let's see if we can make this work, Jeremy. On hole 1, you can only throw a 1 speed. On hole 2, you get 2 discs, but you can throw 2s and 1s. On hole 3, you can throw 3 discs, but 3, 2, and 1. Obviously, when you get up to 12, or 13, or 14, I know you like your 14 speed dimensions and all that sort of thing, right?
Yes,
but you're going to get to a point where you're pretty much just throwing your whole bag. But maybe you do 1 to 9, and then 9 to 18, you go backwards. So on hole 10, you go 8 speed, hole 11, 7 speed, like you work back down. So when you get to 18, you're back down to just your one speed disc.
Yeah, that would be a good way to do it.
Call it the pyramid.
Look at this. You're creating amazing.
Trademark Chain Out Podcast.
Write that down right now. Write that down.
There you go.
Well, I want to throw in there too, but I do have another tournament we can talk about, but I wanted to throw in there as well, being that we're speaking of 3 disc events.
Yeah.
We have the AHE Alberta Hospital fundraiser happening this weekend.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about that is it's going to be an Innova Replay event. And I think you might know a little bit more than me. Would you want to share what that event's going to be like?
Yeah. So the Innova Replay is a 3-disc event. You get your player's pack. It consists of a disc that I'm really excited for, a Proto Glow Zero. Because I putt with zeros, but I don't putt with the Proto Glow, the new one that's out. You'll also get a Halo Star Fox. And then you mentioned it earlier, that new Duo plastic, you get a Duo Valkyrie. So those are the three discs you get part of the Innova Replay. Part of the Innova Replay event, you also get to bring 3 discs of your own choosing. So you get 6 discs in total, 3 from the Innova Replay event, 3 discs of your own choosing. Plus, you also get 1 mulligan per hole.
Okay.
So, 18 under?
Oh, I don't know. What do you think? I don't have a Valkyrie and I don't have a Zero. I know you've got a little bit of an advantage on me because of that, but having those as 2 of the discs and then having a Fox, do you think just those 3 discs alone and having a mulligan, could you pull off the minus 18?
I mean, I have all 3 of those discs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily know. I'm just trying to, and maybe 1 or 2 holes, maybe a handful of holes where you would go putter off the tee. Mm-hmm. Is there any dogleg rights? Is there anywhere where you'd need that understability? Any forehand holes that we would normally throw? Maybe hole 13.
Right. There could be some in there. And also there's going to be some new and exciting different things at this event because we're going to be playing the competitive version of it. And with that, Brock puts in the tournament director and organizer, he puts in some new and interesting holes, including a bunker rule island par 3, where you hit the island, which is about the size of circle 1. And if you miss it, then you have to re-tee. You just don't take a penalty shot. It's just your next shot.
Right.
So until you hit that island. Now, all that to be said, to answer your question, maybe there are some holes that will be like that just by the nature of some of these new rules that are in place for this round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to let you carry on talking just for a second.
Oh, for sure. Well, the other part about it too is it kind of made me think about it, Daryl, was we talk about desert island discs. We do that with our guests all the time. We've talked about what our own are. This is a little bit of a desert island discs in a different way for us. So my question about it, because this is coming up on Saturday, is what 3 additional discs are you bringing to the tournament? Are you going to bring a Valkyrie, a Fox, and a Zero, just in different plastic?
Exactly. Yeah, just to double up. You know what? I have not given that any thought. I'm guessing, if I have to think right now, what would I throw if I was going to go out there and only throw 3 discs? I think I would throw. I'm loving my Rhino recently. For as much as I could throw. We may have a problem with the episode, but I'll talk to you about that later. What was I saying? My Rhino. I do love my Rhinos. Even though I can throw a putter, my Rhinos they seem to be going dead straight for me. So I'll bring a Rhino. I'm probably going to bring a Wraith because I want a bit of extra distance. And would I bring a Thunderbird or would I bring a Firebird?
Or possibly Sonia's suggesting a T-Bird?
T-Bird, Firebird, or Thunderbird. It'd be one of those, I think. And I think the Valkyrie, I can get it to turn. Maybe I want something a bit more stable. I'm going to narrow it down. It's either going to be a T-Bird or a Firebird. The Thunderbird is gone. The Valkyrie is going to be there. That's the 9-speed. Firebird could be for the overstability. The T-Bird could just be for that mid-range straight shot. How about you? Have you given it any thought?
Well, I think putter-wise, I would probably, and I know it's like desert island disc, so I'm going to bring a putter, a mid-range, and a fairway. No, I don't have to. I could bring 3 Firebirds if I wanted to be Tim Plamondon. In that case, it would be fine. But I might bring one of my EV7.5s just because I'll putt with the Zero. I'll give it a try, but maybe I want to go to my trusty tried and true putter for that as my replay. Then for the other side of it, I think I would bring one of my trails as well, which is kind of on there. But I think I'd probably have to look at those discs. Maybe if we get there early enough and I can throw them a bit, that'll let me know. And then in that mid-range space, I might put something, maybe one of my hexes. I know it seems pretty straightforward, but I'm thinking if I do a setup like that, maybe I can have those 3 discs for the first round, and I wonder if we can swap them out if they didn't serve us well and get 3 different discs
Oh,
for the second round.
now you're manipulating the rules even more. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it does sound like this one's
I
a fun
mean,
event, so
yeah, and I don't think, the way that you play on the first round, you might be paired with 3 different people in the second round. Who's to say, oh, were they the same 3 discs you had this morning? Like, no one's going to know,
yeah.
right? As long as you only play with 6 discs, I don't think it's going to matter if you swap them out. I would have thought you
What
would have thrown the balance in there.
maybe for something stable, but I
Yeah.
was thinking, what if we were, because we likely have a number of discs in the back of our vehicles for this event, and we'll only bring out the 3 for the replay that we're going to play with. What if for the second round, I went into the back of your vehicle and picked you 3 discs,
Ooh, you really?
or and you picked me 3 discs, or you picked 3 discs from your bag and gave them to me, and that's what I had to use, and I picked 3 discs from my bag and gave them to you, and those were your 3 bonus discs. So now you're playing with essentially 6 brand new discs,
Yeah.
not ones that you've thrown before. What would you think about something like that?
So it's hard enough that we're playing with 3 brand new discs and own 3 other discs, meaning 6 total. You just want
Hmm.
to make it even harder and throw 6 brand new discs that I've never thrown before. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you
I
think I
think.
could? Do you think I could throw something that's not Innova?
Oh, would it be just out of fun? Well, I could narrow it down to some
I'm
of the
just kidding.
Innovas I have.
No, it's fine. Um, you know what? I'll make this um comment to you. Let's have a look at the scorecard after round one. If I'm top 5, then no, I'm going to play with this. I'm going to pick my own discs because there might be a chance that I could podium. If I'm fifth from the bottom, sure, let's do
Mix
it.
it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's mix it up.
That's awesome. All right, well, that's good. I see that Sonia chimed in the chat there, and she said she would bring a Rock 3, a Firebird, and a Paradox. So she's kind of got a love of both you and I, because there's an MVP Axiom in there, and then there's a couple Innovus.
Yeah, I think I remember showing Sonia a paradox when I first got her into disc golf. Kind of didn't really sit right with her, but she's got one of her own and she's throwing it now, and she does like her paradox. Yeah, which
Yeah,
is
it's a bit
in
of a
my hands,
paradox
a
when you think
paradox would
about
be like a fox. My fox that I throw is quite flippy. I cannot get it to hyzer. I can throw it on as much hyzer as I want. It always flips up and it drifts to the right, which is good if that's the
it.
shot that I want. But when I'm trying to hyzer flip it and it goes straight, it's not this for me. But yeah, good
Hmm.
choices.
Yeah. Well, in this AHE event, hey, this has been, I think this is the 3rd year maybe, or if not the 4th year that it's been going on. And each year it seems like Brock's just leveling it
Fourth.
up each time. There's more prizes to it. There's more
Yeah.
things happening. There's a barbecue. One year we got slushies when we were coming through at the midway point. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm
yeah.
really excited for it. I'll obviously be there helping out, volunteering. Um, I imagine we're going to be having a lot of the games that we have during the rounds as well. Like you say, when the food is on. Last year we had the straightest drive, or the noodle arm throw is what they called it. I won it 2 years ago. Was it 2
Mm,
years ago? Or was it last year?
I think it was 2 years. We played it
2 years
together.
ago.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And then last year I set up the putting competition where I drew shapes on the ground, spray painted some circles and some triangles and some squares, different point value, getting a bit smaller. I think you had 2 putts or 3 putts to try and score the highest you could.
Hmm.
I'm sure we'll have
Yeah.
some other games there as well.
Yeah, it'll be exciting, that's for sure. And then one more tournament while we're chatting about it is that I think it kind of maybe slipped through and past you, but it's a tournament that maybe holds a little bit of importance to. We always ask people what their first event was. So the Battle Niner happened last weekend.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so if you think about it, that's an easy way to know how long ago the last one or the first one you ever played was.
Yeah, that was the Battle 6 when I played.
Mhm.
It's a tournament that gets moved around through central Alberta. I think it's put on by Simon Lambert. No,
Robin Lambert. Yeah.
Robin Lambert. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the first tournament that you convinced me to play out in Wetaskiwin, and I believe it was back. I did see it. I was waiting for. I'm always waiting to see where it is and when it gets posted. I did see that it got posted because I was looking through Disc Golf Scene to try and find a space for me to run my event in. But it crept up on me. Yeah, I didn't see that it had already taken place.
Yeah, well, it did look like it went. It went to Wetaskiwin again, so it was cool that it was back there. But you know how much rain we've had this year and how crazy it's been. I'm guessing that that must have impacted that course because we've seen it before. It can catch some water and get a little bit wet. So
Hmm.
between the water, the mosquitoes, and the garter snakes that are around there, I'm thinking that
Yeah.
maybe that did it because it ended up getting 11 people show up. So
Oh,
11 brave souls decided to come out for the Battle Niner this year, including, we know Keenan Menzies, he was out there. So maybe when we talk to him, we'll see how it went. But it was kind of a nice nostalgia thing because that's also that tournament that we went to, Battle 6, was when we first got introduced to Matt Lysak and
right.
Andre Lotto at Park Pro because I ended up somehow being Team Lysak and almost it was like there was no doubt I was going to be because I kept winning Team Lysak ads.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, and it was my first tournament, but it wasn't your first tournament, as you've said. Yours was first in Kamloops, right? But it must have been it must have been like your second or third, possibly.
It was my first year, so it was definitely in that first handful of tournaments for sure.
All right.
And we always have fond memories of that course. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things we kind of alluded to before was some hot takes and that side of it. And so when Tim came on to the Around the Basket podcast a couple weeks ago, and I was just a listener, I was away.
Right.
I heard him. He sounded like he was fired up. He was like, "Hey, what did he say? It was Festivus. I got some problem with you guys, and I'm gonna tell you about it," type thing.
He came on with a mission for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he hit those spicy hot takes, and then I had a chance to listen to them. And then the next week, we came back, and then I threw my opinions on some of his opinions, as well as some other hot takes you and I had.
Yeah.
Um, and I think you got really jazzed up because that felt like part of what you wanted to see out of Around the Basket.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like we've said numerous times before, even with the Chain Out podcast, it's evolved into where it is now. When we started Around the Basket, we didn't know what it was going to be. I wanted it to be one thing, you wanted it to be another thing. It kind of swayed back and forth between the two, and it felt like that was more along the lines of what I was planning it to be all along. Not to say that it has to be that, and we don't need to do that every week, but that format, that kind of conversation, debate style episode was more about what I was about, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and it really came off pretty good, and I enjoyed it, and it was nice too. It felt like a pretty safe space where you could throw something out there where it's a matter of, hey, this is my opinion. It can totally be wrong. You can totally disagree with it, but it's still my opinion. I'm allowed to have it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're not saying you're wrong or you're right, even though I do have that button. But um, yeah, definitely you can disagree and you can have your own take, and I can tell you why you're wrong, and you can tell me why I'm wrong with my opinion as well.
That's it. Yeah, and I see Spicy Jeremy there. So if you have not seen me fired up, one of the things about me is I'm a fast talker and I'm a loud talker. And the more spicy I get, the louder I get. And I'm not angry, not angry by any means.
Right.
Just excited and passionate. But it was funny. So do you remember maybe a hot take of Tim's there? Because while we're talking about this,
Oh,
if you have a hot take you want to put in the comments, go right ahead. But do you remember one or two of the ones he had said?
yeah. Second throws. That was the big one.
Mhm.
He does not play, like, even a practice round, he doesn't like playing second shot. So notoriously, when we go out and play, you know, when we're flipping to see who's going to go first, the next thing that's said is two off the first. It's kind of a thing that you like to do.
Mhm.
Excuse me. He does not like two off the first. He doesn't like second throws throughout the round, even if it's not counted. You know, if you throw a shot and you mess up. He doesn't like it when people say, "Oh, hang on, can I just throw a second one? I just want to see." No, if you not that you would take that second shot, but he doesn't even like people taking that second shot just to see.
Mhm.
But he took it to the next level by saying that if he goes to a tournament out of town and he shows up to a course that he's never played, so he's learning the course, it's one shot only. So if he throws a bad shot off the tee and it lands off the fairway, he's carrying on and practicing from that off the fairway. He's not thinking, oh, well, you know what? On tournament day, I'm hoping to land in the fairway, so maybe I'll practice a shot from over here. He just plays the course, and that's where it ends up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that was what I was listening. It was one of those moments where, you want to yell at the TV, because I would.
You were screaming at the car.
I was instantly like, wrong. I'm like, disc golf is fun. Disc golf is about trying to get better. Disc golf is about all these things. You could throw second shots. I was like, yeah, welcome to your opinion. If in a tournament, yes, because it's a tournament, those are the rules.
Sure.
But play disc golf however you want to consume disc golf. And he made that he made that really clear in his comments too. He's like, hey, you do you, right? Like that's that. But he's like, for him, and he'd grin and bear it if that's what the card was doing, but inside it'd be eating him alive.
Yeah. He's like, if you want to practice, you want to throw second, third, fourth shots, go to a field and do field work. When you come out on a course to play, you roll your dice, you take your chances. You throw a disc in the woods, guess what? You're taking your second shot from the woods. And I think we would have done that. There's no way that we would throw one into the woods and be like, oh, I'm just going to throw player 2 and take it from there. We might throw player 2 just to see what could happen and be like, that's the disc I should have thrown. That's what I wanted to do. But we would still go to the woods and take the shot from the woods. We wouldn't ever skip a shot.
That's right.
But you just like to be able to prove to yourself or see what a different disc would have done in the same situation. And maybe next time you'll be like, okay, well, if I'm here, I know I got to throw this disc, not that disc.
Yeah, that's it for sure. And I think the other hot take that kind of I was on the same side of was, and I think we've even chatted about it before, is that players packs for tournaments and the fact that they're mandatory and prescribed and they have to be a certain value and everything. Right. And I really did resonate with that, being that I used to be a runner. You were mentioning being a triathlete and such, is that when you go, so what the hot take is that, player packs shouldn't be mandatory.
Right.
And my thought is I'm 100% in agreement at this point, because I think that when you do go into a tournament, you enter any other event out there in any other sport, you're entering for the event. That's what you're paying for. That's what you do. Sometimes you get extra things, but the key word is sometimes, and it isn't prescribed. It doesn't have to be a certain amount. It doesn't match a certain value. It ends up being what is the experience that you're getting, and that's what you're actually paying for. Right. So with that being said, to me, okay, put a tournament, call it $300 and don't give me anything. And guess what? Nobody will be at your tournament unless you have the most amazing experience. And if you do, and you're going to have Taylor Swift perform in between rounds 1 and 2, then I'm there and I'm paying you $300 all day long. So I think that would be a way that we should look to get to with the tournaments. And if you want to attract more players through a player pack, go ahead and do it, but you don't need to be obligated to do it. And were you on the same side of that fence, or?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I'm the same as you. Like we've mentioned it before. You join a bowling league, you don't get a bowl just for signing up. I think some people in the chat said you do, or there are some leagues where that happens, but for the most part, you're not. If you join, like Tim was mentioning about joining his hockey league, he pays his fees and all that. He doesn't get a free pair of skates because he signed up. Like you pay to play. So I'm totally on the same side as you. I know we had talked about maybe having it instead of having, there's two sides to it. I guess I'll address the first part first. Player pack should not be mandatory. You should pay to play at the event, and that should be what you're paying for to be entered. I don't think this came up when we were talking about it, but I'm guessing the reason why it all came around, like when did it all start? Why was it around? Do you think it was a thing that the PDGA first put out there to draw more newer players in, being like, okay, you do have to pay this money to come and play this sport, but guess what? You're going to get that money right back in free discs. So if you're a beginner, guess what? You start with 5 discs and you're leaving with 7. Or whatever the case might be, to encourage those new players. And now it's gotten to a point where we're no longer kind of bringing those new people in. We're getting the same people playing, and people already have discs, which then leads into the second point that we mentioned on the podcast with Tim was it puts so much pressure on the tournament director to have to come up with other things to make the players pack more exciting. Like, okay, yeah, if your event is sponsored by Innova or MVP or whoever, they're going to do a custom stamp disc for you. People in the chat were like, I must have been in 20 or 30 events, got a custom stamp disc, and I've got none in my bag. Like those custom stamp discs just don't make your bag because they're not ones that you're going to throw. So apart from the tournament director having to design a logo, send it off to the disc manufacturer, get it stamped out, get those discs back, then you're like, okay, well, that's 20% value. Well, now when I need to include a towel, I need to go get a towel from somebody. Do I get that stamped with, our logo for the event? Oh, we need some snacks. Now I need to source some snacks. Now I need to source this just to make a player's pack. That's all that extra effort and stress on the tournament director just to make that percentage.
Yeah, I think so. And when you talk about it too, if you've got a regular size tournament, a shotgun, 72 people show up for it, you're supposed to know what 72 people are going to like. So even with what you and I found as we did our jerseys, we made 2 jerseys. And if I had said, this is going to be our jersey, you're like, that's not what I'm going to wear. And if you had told me this is what our jersey is going to be, I'd be like, I don't know if I'm going to wear that one, Daryl. So how do you pick for 72 different people and make the right pick, especially when it comes to discs, how many different ones are available? And as you said, we know some people who would throw the 14.5 speed dimension, but then we know people who want the paradox, just like myself and Sonia. So you can't please everybody. So why are you forcing tournament directors to try and do that with a players pack?
Here's a question for you, and I think I know the answer, but was there a disc manufacturer sponsor for Canadian Nationals?
Innova.
Okay, it was Innova. I was just thinking because obviously Brock is an Innova ambassador, so he's only going to throw Innova discs. So if he was to go to, like, would he ever sign up for a space race? I know I don't think he can. I think he can go, but he's not going to bag the discs. I think he can go to an event, but I don't think he can TD or co-TD or be involved in that event in the background. But so if he goes to an event, I mean, I know everybody's not sponsored, but I'm just trying to think, like, I'm not sponsored. Would if I go to an MVP event and get some discs, are they going to make my bag? They might make yours, but they're not going to make mine. So yeah, discs are hard to please. Like you said, some people might want understable, which a lot of, that's the other thing as well. When you get these discs from the manufacturers, you do tend to get hexes and craves and, the new discs or the most frequent discs with Innova, you tend to get wombats and leopard 3s and discs that a lot of people already have, or they might just not be good fit for people.
So I wonder what the next step in that pathway is if it's something, we've been seeing that they're talking about the new PDGA rules. Technically, this is a PDGA rule, right? At a C tier, you need to have this amount of players pack value. On a B tier, you have to have this amount. I think another thing about it is that if we don't have that player pack value there, then tournaments might be able to earn a little bit more money. It might be a little bit easier for them to run. God forbid that a tournament director gets paid for their time once in a while, or actually gets a little bit of compensation for it. But again, with that, people say, oh, well, we don't want a tournament director taking all our money. Well, what did you get for your experience? Did you enjoy that event? Was that event fun? Did you feel that you got value for the money you paid to be part of that event? And if you did, then why do you care what happened after that?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But if you showed up and it was like the Fire Festival and you paid $250 to be there, you're never going to that event again, and probably never again to an event that group or that TD organizes. So I think a lot of that might be a couple rough events at the beginning, but it would certainly weed itself out pretty quickly after that.
Yeah, I signed up for the social media experience. I didn't get that experience. The other thing that we talked about and it takes the stress off the TD, and I think you would be on board with this, is instead of, you might have to, maybe they drop it from 85, 100% down to like 50 or whatever, but is instead of the tournament director having to come up with items based on that value, is most events will have disc golf stores on site. Sometimes they're a sponsor of the event as well. We've done it before at an event. I think it was a Tundra Toss, where when you sign up for your players pack, you might get a $20, $30 gift card to that disc golf store's tent. So you're getting a $30 value. It might cost you 40, 50 bucks to enter the event. You get a $30 gift card back. You can then take that $30 gift card to the vendor, and if you want a new disc, you can buy it. If you want a towel, you can buy a towel. If you want a couple of minis, you can buy minis. Whatever you want with your 30 bucks, you then get to choose what you want as a player's pack.
Yeah, I do like that. I've seen that happen one time at an event. I think Wildman was the sponsor of it, and we got $20 or something like that. And there were $20 items available, and you could get, like you said, get exactly what you want. It's a great idea. I think that would be a good way to fill that. Yeah. And maybe the other purpose is disc golf has changed so much, especially since the COVID boom and everything else. And early on days disc golf was expected to be free, right? It was the cheap alternative to ball golf, and that was the expectation of it. And we still always want that entry level. And there's always going to be the get in, get out, get rated events. There's going to be the Banana Froth Dubs events. There's going to be all of these types of activities to have fun and to play disc golf at a very entry level way to get in. But when it comes to these other tournaments, give an experience, and I'll pay for the experience.
Yeah. Well, we're just speaking about nationals. Sonia just wanted to know, did Innova have a tent at the Blue Pavilion?
No, they were the sponsor through the discs that were provided. So all of the discs that we got to choose from, but otherwise we had, I think JK Discs was there, as well as Little Potato Disc Golf Dies. There was a few other people who were there as well. So Innova, they would have had tents, and they would have flags and all of those things that help with the way they sponsored it. But where they really came to the plate was in supplying the players pack discs. Yeah.
Sonia was obviously at the whole starter for one of the courses, so she didn't get a chance to move around too much.
Well, I've got one other thing that I had on the list that I wanted to chat about, Daryl. Sure. But before we got to that, I think you had said earlier Edgar had a question about jerseys. Did you want to throw that one up?
Yeah, we can put that up here. It's just he wanted to know that his club has just got new jerseys. How are we enjoying our new ones that we released this year that I'm wearing and you've worn at nationals and on other posts and things like that? I don't think we've ever talked about it. We've talked about that we have new jerseys and that you can purchase them, or you could have pre-ordered them. But actually, how do you like them? Apart from obviously this is a great design, but actually the jersey itself, like, how do you like them?
I do really like them. I think the V-neck was a good choice. I really do like that. I like the trim around it. I like the way they fit. I think they're not too big, and they're not too tight. I've had both of those types of situations with other jerseys. I like everything we did. The manufacturer who made them for us did a really good job. They kind of delivered on the visions that we had. And really, for me, Daryl, I don't know about for you, there's been a lot of things to the podcast is we had a lot of times we're like, we had a podcast, or we have a podcast. This is a thing. It's like it strikes you and you're like, wow. And we've got hats. That's a thing. That's cool. We have stickers. We've got jerseys. So to me, as life goes by, it's another check on the boxes of things I've done that I probably didn't think I was ever going to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I'd agree with everything you said. Fit is good. You know what? I'm going to be controversial. The fit is a little large. They're a little tad bigger than
any opportunity.
No, even for a large. So I used to wear extra large. Now I've gone down to a large because I don't know if you know, I've lost a little bit of weight.
You're looking good.
But I have some t-shirts upstairs. When I started losing weight and I was realizing that extra large was too big, I immediately went the other way, and I was like, oh, I'm a medium now. So I went and bought a couple of t-shirts that were mediums, thinking that I can fit into these. Quickly finding out that, you know what? Now I look like that gym bro where he's bulging out of the shirt. Like, maybe I'm not quite a medium, so let's stick with large. I didn't lose that much weight. But actually, I think in this jersey, I think I could have gone to a medium, and I think it might have been the perfect fit. Large is great fit. It's comfortable. They're breathable, like you said. It's not like I'm swimming in it, anything like that. But if you are unsure, they just run a little bit larger but everything else perfectly fine. Like you said, the design, it's okay to see it on a computer screen when you're designing it, but you're like, how is it going to be blown up on a jersey, right? And the graphics are fine or great. The color is all they're good colors compared to what we designed it as. I'm very happy with our jerseys.
Yeah. So it was good, Edgar. We hope you're happy with yours as well, and can't wait to see them. Make sure to drop us some pictures of them so we can see those as well.
Sonia had a question.
Oh, okay.
Will Daryl ever throw a berg again?
Ooh, will you ever throw a berg again? Are you prepared to answer this question? This is hot stuff coming at you.
I can say the chances that I will ever throw a berg again are about 50-50.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm not going to say
Stay
no.
tuned.
Yeah, I could see myself throwing a berg again at some point.
That's awesome.
There you go.
That would be exciting. We know you used to say it's always a berg.
It is. I can't now going back to it. I can't believe I actually used to pop them. They do feel like dinner plates, but who knows? They're good. They have their place.
They do for sure. Also, too, we were talking with Edgar is out there on the true East Coast out there in Newfoundland. And what I kind of noticed too is that we were chatting. I wasn't that long ago. I was more towards the west, not the West Coast, but into the Okanagan. And we were there. We were talking about the smoke, the fires, everything else. Dion Eden put up a post, and it's on the socials. He made sure to send it to me as well. And the Summerland course that I got to play, that is one of their new pride and joys. And they have so much plans for that course. And there was Summerland fires going on. We were worried, did this course burn down? It looked like it was right in the heart of everything. He finally had a chance. It's cooled down. The hot spots are gone. Everything's kind of moved past Summerland at this point. And the course, not only is it still intact, all trees are still there. They're all green. Tee pads are there. Baskets are there. Benches are there. Even his least favorite OB stakes are still there too. So it sounds like to all of our disc golf friends, of course, we hope everybody's houses and everything else was safe. But once all of that has been safe and we're happy there, even our disc golf course that's out in Summerland is safe. So make sure to get out there and play it.
It's good news. Good to hear.
And then the only other thing I think I had, Daryl, I don't know if you want to throw something else in here, but the 8 years, they kind of come fast and furious when they get going. And for the next few weeks, that's what we have. We have fantasy pick shows. We have preview shows when we can do them. We've got recap shows whenever we can get the winners of the 8 years, the MPOs and FPOs. But we're going to, after that, it's not truly off season, but it does slow down a bit once the 8 years are done. And that's the time that we get to do different types of episodes, kind of like we're doing a different episode tonight for the listeners. Right. So we'll be able to, one suggestion that came through to us was, why not talk to some women who have played while being pregnant, have come back to disc golf after having a baby? What is that like? What is that experience? Is there any tips that they have? All of those types of things. Yeah. So we've got 3 FPOs who are willing to come on the show and chat with us. We'll do that in the off season. But, if anybody out there listening to this episode has an idea where they say, we love your interviews, guys, but it's coming off season. Could you interview this type of person or this industry of person? Then throw that out there. We'll give it a thought.
I was going to say but I have some irons in some fires of other things that we want to do. But yeah, we've interviewed disc golf store owners. We've spoken to,
we've done some history ones too, right? Where we've talking to people from the original days of the game, and
John Goldthorpe, Innova Canada. Going back to his Ace Runner days and moving into Innova Canada. We've interviewed him before. We've disc golf manufacturers with Discape and Daredevil Disc. We've interviewed those. We've had
Chris Hartman, College Disc Golf.
College Disc Golf. We've done junior episodes. We had Ryan O'Neill from Brixton Cards.
Mm-hmm.
We've interviewed other YouTubers. Pros,
of course, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Even community builders like Andrea Michaud.
Yeah. What's next? What do you want us to? Who do you want us to interview in the off season? We are up for anything. I don't know. If you got anybody, is there any? What do they call it? What's your golden eagle? No. What's the elusive one? What's the one that's? What do they call that?
I just want to see if you can figure it out.
What's your? Don't tell me. What's your golden sheep? What's the golden fleece?
What is the golden snitch? Which is your golden snitch? I love it. It's like the barber of the disc golf pros or something like that. Is that when we've gone too deep? When it's like this person cut Eagle McMahon's hair?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who makes the chains for AB?
But know that we'll be looking.
I'm asking you, who's your golden snitch?
My elusive eagle, my golden snitch.
Yeah, who's that one? Like, if you could get a guest on the off season, okay, maybe not the one person, that you could be like, oh man, if we could ever get that one person, that's my dream guest. But like in the off season, what are you looking for? What avenues are you hoping to explore?
Well, I think it would be really cool if we could get, and this is pie in the sky, this is a stretch and a reach in that, but if we were able to talk to somebody like Dylan Cease, right. So this is somebody who is heavily involved in disc golf, but they really are a baseball star. They play for the Blue Jays, that type of thing. I think that would be cool. It's along those lines of like when we talk to Elaine King. This is like in the sport that's done a lot, and maybe Dylan Cease isn't a big name in the sport per se. He definitely is part of it, but is definitely a big name. And when it gets to the fall and the Blue Jays win the World Series, he's going to have time on his hands. So why not come on the Chain Out podcast? It's a perfect time to chat with him.
You say it's a pie in the sky or a big hit. Did you see what I did there? A big hitter.
Hit that one out of the park.
Right. But do they not know that we're a Chain Out podcast? Of course he's going to want to come on a Chain Out podcast.
That's true. Yeah, maybe he can help tell us if there's a way that we could get the Edgar Hartling, Joe Mez Pro, Badanza, Banana Frolf played in the Sky Dome.
Right.
And he could be part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine?
Oh, it would be amazing. So I have people like that, but who would be your golden snitch?
I'm waiting for you to tell me exactly what it is, but I know you're not gonna. You're gonna make me suffer. My golden retriever would be. I don't know. I don't think it's a golden retriever or golden episode or a guest, but somebody who I would like to talk to and I'd like to interview just from. You talk about pioneers of the game, something like that. I wouldn't mind interviewing Dave Dunapace just to talk to him about not only what was it like back in the day, but like what made him start Innova. Who is it? Like, is he actually designing each disc? Who was the first person to think, okay, we have these 5 discs. Let's take the bottom of this mold and the top of this mold and put them together, and now we have a new disc. And like mismatching the tops and bottoms to make different discs and things like that. How, the amount of discs they have in their lineup, like they keep coming out with new discs. Like, when are they going to stop? When are they going to realize that they've got so many discs? Is that ever going to be the case? Are they going to phase out all these sort of things about a manufacturer and from somebody in the top of the, in the disc golf manufacturing world, basically?
Yeah, no, that would be great. I think we would really Harry Potter that one if we can get him on the show. But yes, I think that all that to be said is, to our listeners, always throw in your comments, your ideas, reach out to us any way you can. First, we want to see it. We want to interact with you. And on top of that, we want to make sure that, we know who we want to talk to. And if you want to hear something else from us, then we want to provide it.
Is it Golden Unicorn?
Yes, it is.
The elusive dragon? Elusive
You're going to go down a road that you're not going to be able to come back from before you know it.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much, for us here for tonight.
Oh, here's a question for you. Are you ever going to throw a berg?
Am I going to? Yeah, every once in a while the berg slides into my bag again. It's not very often, but because I have the range and I really do like the way the range throws, and it's more of an approach disc for me than what I use the berg for. But every once in a while I do slip a berg back in the bag. And definitely when it comes to glow rounds as we get into the fall, I've got a glow berg and I like to have that one around.
Every now and again a berg slides into your DMs and says, "Hey, don't forget about me.
Hey buddy, I want to dance."
You up?
Exactly.
What do you think about what do you think about glow disc golf?
You want to talk about that a bit more?
Sure.
What do I think about it? I think that when glow disc golf is done well, it is amazing. It is fun. It is such a great time. I'm thinking back to nationals when the gentleman came up and set up the course, and he came from down south, and he came all the way up to Ontario, set up y'all. He came up
and he said, "Y'all want to play disc golf?"
Yeah. And he set up an amazing course on that Ace Place run. And I remember we were able to have a beverage because it wasn't sanctioned. It wasn't anything like that. And it just felt like a really good, fun time. So when it's done right, it's a lot of fun. If you have to manage it yourself, it loses some of its luster at that point because you're just running around looking for discs and hoping that they don't stop glowing.
And just like that, Jeremy decided that he had enough of me and he decided that he wanted to hang up. So hopefully he will call back. I think what Jeremy was going to say was when it's done right, glow golf can be fantastic. When it's not, it can be a bit frustrating. I personally think that disc golf is not conducive to our climate, because when it starts getting dark enough to play, it's then too cold to get outside and play. So that's my thought on it. I don't know what your thoughts on it, Jeremy. Why don't you try and tell me again?
Did I tell you that when it's done right, it's fantastic? Did I get that far?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was just really enjoyable. I love it when if the whole course is lit up, but if you're doing it by yourself, what I didn't think was as good was that you throw a disc and then you're just trying to chase it down before the glow stops, and then you're going to lose the disc and have to come back the next day to find it. So when it's done right, I love it, but otherwise, not so much.
Dylan says it's never too cold to play, which is fine during the day. But when it's cold at night, I don't know.
The wind is blowing.
Like, I thought that I would play more glow golf. I think, you know what? I don't think I'm being fair. I think the reason why I don't like playing glow golf, or I don't play as much, is because when it gets dark, I have zero depth perception. I wear glasses, and I don't know if it's because I have an astigmatism, but like the glow light it kind of affects my vision. I can never tell where it is. I don't know how far away it is. I'm throwing a disc. I don't know if it hyzered out when, it's just a very a hard time for me to judge a basket using glow discs. So I like the concept of it. I like like you said, when we were at nationals, the fact that the fairways were lit up, I think it added a bit more ambient light to it. The holes weren't that long, so we were able to throw putter and wombat for most of the holes. There was no holes that was over 250, I think. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of glow golf.
All right, I got a great idea for a next chain out battle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it might help me win a round against you.
Oh,
it would be a glow round in the middle of the night.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, you know what, Daryl? We do have the next episode coming up here soon, and we're going to do some fantasy picks tonight. So I think
sure.
everybody, hopefully, you got a good taste of what Around the Basket is like. So if you ever see that link to join us with Patreon, be sure to click it and check it out. And conversations like this. Dylan, who is in the chat, has also created an amazing game called Discal, which is a take on Disc Dull, which is a take on Wordle. So if you ever want to see a game like that, or what else do we have? New Face, Who Dis? We had
The
Shadow game. What did we call that one?
Silhouette, Silhouette.
Silhouette.
Never
Silhouette.
forget Silhouette, Silhouette.
So we have some of these different contests that we play as well, and you got to check it out because they're a lot of fun and they can be quite entertaining. So if you like that, check out our Patreon. We appreciate you for jumping on here. So
gotta give a quick shout out. Liz Ace today. What course? Let us know quickly, Dylan, because we're about to drop the drop.
Yeah, tell us more. So So we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you had not subscribed yet, because you were like, those interviews are fine, but they just haven't hooked me yet. They haven't got me to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Then this is the... That's awesome. If you hadn't subscribed because you were still waiting for some good content because you just didn't like the interviews enough, this had to seal the deal for you. So hop on over there, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, like, comment, do all of those great things, and check out that Patreon. Join at any level, including free, and it all helps to support. If you ever want to have a cool hat like the two that we're wearing, we got those available for you too. They're a $20 hat, even less if you're a Patreon member. So those are all ways that you can support this podcast, keep it going so that 3 more years from now, we're still in your ears. And we appreciate all of you.
Like you said, coming up right after this episode is this, Jeremy.
Well,
I have a button. I had to push it.
I love it.
All right. That is coming up right after this. So there's only one thing left to do, Jeremy.
And that is finish this the best way we can.
Okay, you ready? I don't know how this is going to work. The people are here for it. Oh, quickly scroll down. Edgar Hartling, he did it again. Ran a great event in Newfoundland. Pros and AMs, juniors and women. Banana froth dubs, we ain't kidding.
Oh, you nailed that.
Hey, it's almost like I've done this before.
Daryl and mosquitoes, Jeremy in the heat. No matter the obstacles, we'll yeet. You ask the questions, we make the throws. When the ace goes in, the giveaway goes.
That was pretty good. You got this far. Thanks for chilling with us. You're the cream of the crop. You're the upper crust. Don't catch a cold. Don't catch a trout. The only thing to do is catch another
chain out.
Thanks, everybody. Tune in right after this.